Did you know that as well as looking great, the perfect kitchen can also make you healthier? Here's how. Studies say it's not so much about what food you buy as where you put it. Food writer Xanthi Clay is here to advise.
People who have breakfast cereal on display on the side, particularly women, don't ask me why, are statistically likely to be 21 pounds heavier. That's a stone and a half.
Really? It's quite an interesting piece of research. It's very revealing.
Amazing. This was all done by Brian Wansink at Cornell University. But a really good thing to keep on display is a fruit bowl.
Participants of the study with visible fruit in the kitchen weighed around 13 pounds less than their neighbours. But how else can you design your kitchen to make you healthier?
Also things like have a proper table, eat at a table on a chair. Your desk doesn't count.
Experts call this distracted eating, where people eat more if they're not focused on their meal. A dining table in the kitchen, away from books, games consoles and TVs, will help. And finally, to avoid reaching for naughty snacks because your cupboards are bare, a smart fridge can send you a selfie of its contents to help you shop for just what you need. Time spent in preparation will help when it comes to decoration, so start by mastering the basics. Sand old paintwork, strip off wallpaper and fill in cracks. If you've got dreaded plaster effects like Artex to contend with, don't rush in. Get advice from an expert, as some older coatings may contain asbestos. For smaller designs, you can use a paint-on solution to soften it and then scrape it off. Not easy, but strangely satisfying. Some flat designs might come off with a scraper alone, or for more unwieldy patterns, you could plaster over it. To do that, lightly scrape back the tall peaks wearing a heavy-duty mask, add pure PVA twice, letting it dry each time, and then plaster. Once the skim coat is beginning to dry, apply the final coat. That can take practice, so think, can you afford to get expert help? There's a lot to think about in a family bathroom. It's a place of fun and relaxation. But that doesn't mean you can't still achieve a grown-up, stylish look. Here's how. Think about tiles first. You could go large format. They can help make a small room seem bigger. But also natural textures like stone and wood effect are good for that sense of adult sanctuary. On the other hand, you could try mosaic or Victorian-style brick tiles to create a focal point around a fixture. Next, a simple tweak for a more adult feel. Swap your shower curtain for a screen. It can reduce mildew, but I also reckon it creates a feeling of space. Now go green. Plants will create softness and colour, but they also purify the air with the spider plant, for example, removing up to 95% of some indoor toxins. And finally, don't let the style factor slip. Check your sealant regularly and replace if need be. Don't use up valuable desk or drawer space with the things you use frequently. A pegboard is stylish and so simple to make. You can buy the boards pre-cut in a range of colours and sizes, there's plenty to choose from. Or you could buy a plain one and paint it the exact shade you want. Next, measure and mark where the board will be attached. Using raw plugs if need be, screw the board onto the wall. Use a spirit level to make sure it's even before adding the remaining screws. Then just slot in your pegs and personalise. If you need extra storage in the bathroom that's beautiful as well as practical, this ladder shelf is a great way to keep everyday essentials to hand. Plus, it drains moisture from wet toys back into the bath. You can upcycle an old ladder from a salvage yard or second-hand shop, but furniture maker Nessa Dorn O'Reilly starts by building her own.
Perfect.
In either case, sand it down. Then paint with a water-resistant chalk paint and leave to dry. For the two top boxes, measure 2 pieces of timber to the width of your ladder and 2 to the depth you'd like them to sit. Saw, sand and screw together.
Because I've pre-drilled my guide holes, it should all nicely slot together.
Add a coat of yacht varnish and leave to dry. Make 2 larger boxes for the bottom of the ladder using the same method.
I'm going to drill holes so I can weave through some clothesline to create a net at the bottom of the box.
After a bright lick of paint, thread through the clothesline, which will help drain the kids' toys.
And then it's done.
Finally, attach to your ladder shelf. Impressive. It's easy to make a beautiful boutique headboard using foam, polywadding and heavy fabric. Furniture maker Nessa Dawn O'Reilly is showing how it's done. Step 1. Measure your headboard. Try a large DIY store where they can cut you a piece of wood to size. Step 2. Attach 2 layers of foam with glue, leaving a gap at the bottom to go behind the mattress. Step 3. Cover the foamed area with polywadding.
We don't need too much because basically you just need enough to go over the edges and wrap around.
Step 4. Staple down.
So it staples really nicely and it glues really nicely.
Step 5. Wrap with good quality heavy fabric and staple again.
That looks great.
Finally, personalize and attach to your bed. Impressive. Whatever your kitchen size, to manage your time most effectively, the kitchen triangle has long been considered a helpful tool when looking at layout. In any shaped kitchens, your cooker, fridge and sink should ideally be 4 to 9 feet away from each other in a triangular formation, so you flow from these most used items easily. Think about how deep drawers will open out when installing islands, butcher's blocks or adding tables. And finally, make room for space to eat. Breakfast bars, fold-down tables or even shelves can create much-needed dining space if you can't fit a proper table in. The average bathroom isn't much bigger than a king-size mattress, so use a size guide to work out what you can fit where. Factor in clearance around the edges of your doors. If you're going for a major refurb, locate where the soil pipe enters the room. From there, you can start by placing the loo. Then factor in more clearance, ideally at least 700 millimeters around the side and the same out front. Now think, can you have a separate bath and shower, or would a combo or even a wet room work best? And remember to sort out your ventilation. If you don't, you're under threat from mold and mildew, and this can be particularly harmful to children. Laying your own lawn is easier than you think. Almost anyone can do it. Prepare the soil by removing any old grass or stones, level by foot and rake over till flat. Sprinkle fertilizer, rake, then water. Lay the grass with each piece butting closely to the last, staggering your joints like a traditional brickwork pattern. Use a plank of wood to spread your weight while flattening it down. Finally, trim the edges and avoid walking on it until it's rooted into the soil.